Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jade and I hope that you're having a lovely day. Now onto this video. This is the second to last video of this series, so unless you want to carry on, which I'm all up for it, so please comment below any VHS tape covers that I haven't done, and I can add to the list. It doesn't have to be Disney, it could be anything. Just comment it and I will give it a draw. That'd be cool. So I'm on to Pocahontas, and if this is the first time you're seeing this video, I have done Basil the Great Mouse Detective, The Rescuers, Sleeping Beauty, Jungle Book, Aladdin, Bambi, Lion King, and Hunchback of Notre Dame. So if you have watched my previous videos, I have credited who I got this idea from there, so please go watch them to find out more. But I found it while scrolling onto DeviantArt, and just in case I have some people who don't know what a VHS tape is, it's basically, in its very basic form, it's like a DVD. Please tell me you know what a DVD is. So onto this drawing. So my first step is to lay down all of the shapes. So when doing this, I like to also draw on the reference image the shapes are. Then you can unsee the reference image and just see all of the shapes that I lay down. This allows me to know what the right shapes are, the placement of them, and then after that, when I've laid down all the shapes, then I can refine those shapes. I like to do this in these two steps in complementary colors. With this one, I use red for the shapes and blue for the refinement. Also, because I can't see the reference image when I zoom in to do the refined section more, I like to take a section of the drawing and then place that next to my sketch. This way I can see what I'm drawing to see if I'm on the right track or not. So as that is going, I'm going to say some facts about Pocahontas as I finish off the sketching process and move on to the lineup. So number one, Miko almost didn't happen. So the one that I was just drawing, the raccoon. So like many other Disney princesses, Pocahontas had two adorable sidekicks, Miko the raccoon and Flick the hummingbird. These two adorable goose followed and protected Pocahontas on her adventures away from the village and brought some comedic relief to an otherwise serious tale. But for some reason, Mika almost didn't make the cut. So Disney originally wanted Mika, Flick, and a turkey named Red Feather. And they hired the late John Candy to voice Red Feather. So with Red Feather in the mix, Disney was willing to get rid of Miko, so Pocahontas was only going to have two sidekicks. But sadly, Candy passed away, so Mika was added back into the story. Now, I don't know how Red Feather would have played with the other characters in the story, but if it was anything like Miko, I think it would have been great, because all three of them, I thought John Candy's hilarious. I've watched loads of his films, but out of the two sidekicks, just them, the Flick and Miko, I do prefer Mika a little bit more, to be honest. But I love the relationship that they have, Flick and Mika. I think that just together they're hilarious. So the next fact is two parts, which I think connect, which I quite like. So 2A, so a descendant of the real Pocahontas almost helped Disney. So a woman named Shirley Little Dove Costello McGowan is a descendant of Pocahontas and went on tours along the East Coast to talk more about the Native Americans and their mission in life. So she talked about their love of nature and respecting all living things, hoping to keep their name alive. So when Disney started production, they touched base with Little Dove and wanted to use her as a consultant, but she was not pleased with the inaccuracies of her ancestors' story, and she told LA Times, "Disney promised me historical accuracy, but they will be a lot to correct when I go into classrooms," which I find that's true. That's true. Now 2B. So Disney did try their hardest to be authentic and compassionate to the Native American community, although it was scrutinized, and it was, because it's not. Telling the story of a real person can be tricky, especially for Disney. So detailing the historic significance of the Native American tribe had to be authentic and compassionate. or not done at all. And although Disney altered Pocahontas' story for the better of storytelling, they hired Native American actors for all the voices. They even hired Native American consultants and historians to make sure that they was getting it right. But sadly for Disney, their efforts weren't good enough since the story of Pocahontas was inaccurate. So fans of the film would soon to grow up believing that the story of Pocahontas was like the film, when in fact it's like nothing, like it's anything but. Which I love Pocahontas, but it's true, it's nothing like the film. So number 3, so the voice actors didn't meet each other until the premiere. So Pocahontas had its big premiere in Central Park in 1995, where Erin, Bedred saw an animated version of herself on screen. As the voice of Pocahontas, animators studied Irene, that's it, to copy her mannerisms on screen. It was there she was hoping to meet John Smith, who aka Mel Gibson, for the first time, but actually he was too busy filming Braveheart to attend. So in fact, Bedford and Gibson never met. None of the actors filmed together while doing their voice work. So Bedford, Irene, was in the studio with Judy Kern, who portrayed Pocahontas' singing voice, and that was it. And then number 4, the movie took 5 years to complete. So Pocahontas and The Lion King were both being created around the same time, and Disney animators had their pick of working on either one. So due to the colours and the animation of Pocahontas, animators found it more exciting and challenging to work on it than The Lion King. With all the complexities of movement and animation techniques, Pocahontas took 5 years to complete. And number 5, the film shared the first interracial couple for Disney. So Pocahontas and John Smith weren't dating in the film, but they definitely had a romantic connection. So Pocahontas was engaged to be married to Cocoam, but kept finding herself running towards the new English settler she just met. She even saved Smith's life from her own father, and while they didn't end up together in the film, they were Disney's first interracial couple, which was very inspiring and truly inspiring and open at the time period. Now that we are finished with these facts, I have said, please comment below any facts about Disney Pocahontas that you know. I would love to hear more. We are also finished with the line art now, so we are on to colour. But before we move on to how I colour, I really want you to say that there's like, from this film, these are my 2 favourite Disney songs. So one of them being Savages. I love this song. It's probably my all-time favourite Disney villain song. Actually, you know, when I'm thinking about it, most of my Disney songs, I prefer the villain songs up there. So I like Savages, Pocahontas, Hellfire, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Poor Unfortunate Souls, The Little Mermaid, Be Prepared, and My Lullaby, Lion King 1 and 2. These are just the ones like on the top of my head that I could honestly, I can't put them in order of how much I love them all equally. They're amazing. And then another song from Pocahontas that just like really holds a special place in my heart is Colours of the Wind. Now this one I've always loved, but it only became really special in my heart because of high school. So one of my brothers came into the world very early. He had to be put on incubator, maybe even life support at one point. I'm too young to remember some of the details when it was happening, but I remember like going to visit him in the early days in the hospital, and me and my sister would normally wait outside because they wanted all the siblings to see him all at once. But anyway, so when we did see him, we all went in and we all went into the family room. So while we was in the family room, their kids could like watch and play TV and stuff while the parents were with baby. And I remember watching Pocahontas and then seeing my little brother Connor. And then when I came back, Colour of the Wind was on, and I remember just sitting there listening to it and crying, thinking of Connor just being so small. And if you are in that situation, you know what I'm you know what I'm talking about, but it was very emotional. So every time I think of that song, I just think of him, of when he was a baby, and now that he's just turned 13 and just absolutely loves life, and it's amazing. So that song, just, it's always there for me. So yeah, so now I've just told you them two songs because they are great. What other songs do you like that hold a really special place in your heart? I'd love to hear. So that tangent. So on to colouring. When I do my colouring, I like to place down all the base colours, which are the mid-tones. This way I can add shades and shadows and highlights to each of the characters. I have found a better way of colouring the base colour, but I do like colouring it in and erasing the excess and doing all this outside the lines. I just find this therapeutic, and it also allows me to procrastinate. So yeah, I would also like to say that when I did start this series, I didn't know which ones I would be posting first into later, and so a couple of my previous drawings from this series, I think, in my opinion, are a little bit better. But I do think this because I find better ways to colour and to do the line art. So when doing the line art, I first use a felt tip effect, but I found that instead, I did find later on that there's like an ink pen that makes the lines more sharper, which I do like better. Also, the colouring, I used to use the smudge tool for this one, which I also do like and still use, but I have found a better way, adding a gradient, making it look a lot more smoother by using the spray tool. And I found all these out because I do like to experiment, especially with my earlier drawings. So this allowed me to find new tools on this, using this software. So there was a lot more to try out, but I can't wait. So carry on. So when drawing this particular piece, I lay down all the base colors, and then I found the right. So when finding the right color, if you are having problems, I would suggest placing the color that you think it is alongside the reference image. This way you can be 100% sure if you're going right or wrong with it, and if you are wrong, you can correct it. So when I have all the correct base colors down, I then do the shadows areas, making the shapes of what I think it is, and then this way I can smudge it out. So smudge out the darker color into the base color, so it tends to make a smooth gradient. Now, as I was just saying, you can do that with the highlights. Sorry, I do that with the highlights and the shadows. But as I had just said, I have found a better way to use it using the spray tool, which in my opinion is better, but the smudge tool does have its benefits. So I do all the characters this way, leaving the best till last. So when I finished with the characters, I then move on to the background, which is really nice and simple with a really beautiful purple to pink gradients. Now, I really love gradients personally. I love it. So then I shape out. When I have done that, I then shape out where the wind and the flowy flowers are gonna be, because they have structure. It has its own structure, that little bit. So the flowers and leafy things, it's flowy, so you can see it. Yeah. So first I'd layer that out with a big orange section, the orange yellow section, and then this way I then can add, slowly starting adding the flowing leaves and flower petals on different layers, so each having its own different layer. So I can change the size of the brush and then the color, and then when I think it's good, I then can have its own little place, so I know where I'm going with it. So, and then I also kind of go out of the shape that I've just done, so out of the shape a little bit, so it's a little bit structured, but it's a little bit out. Yeah. So there's not too much form to it, it's not too sharp. And you just add sparkles here and there, and that was really nice. And then I slowly added the landscape, which are nice simple shapes, again adding depth using shadows and little textures here and there. So lastly is the title, which I did finish earlier, but this is the only place that I cheat with. I trace this because it's a lot harder than you think. This is where I started adding my name into the drawings. So where it says masterpiece, I block out the letters and then add more because my name is longer, and then I sort of the placement out and add my name. So yeah, so I hope that you liked this video. Please comment, like, comment, and subscribe, and please watch some more videos on my channel. Also, if you do like my artwork and anything of this series, please go over to my Etsy, my website, or my Patreon. It's over there too. You can find stickers, the Disney VHS tape stickers, which are made and sold by me. So if you do like them, please, you can check that out. But if not, then just all you need to do really is just like, comment, and subscribe, and just watch more of my videos. I hope that you liked this video. Please comment below anything. I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.